Hello everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. If you don't know, this channel is full of book hauls where I purchase way too many books because I have a problem. I also get a lot of books from publishers, which is awesome. So that's what this is today. I do these every few months or until my little TBR card says, no more, you have to film this. And what do you know? It is that time. So like I said, I've purchased a fair few and I have a huge stack from publishers, which I'm always so grateful and thankful for and undeserving. But let's get into the books I bought because I bought like a lot because yeah, I have a problem. The first one that I bought, I have already read, so yay. And that is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. If you don't know, I read one of her previous books that just got recently like republished, The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, and will not stop singing its praises. One of my favorite books of the year. So I wanted to read another book by her, and everyone talks about All Roads Lead to Here. And I read it. I liked it. I didn't like it nearly as much as The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, but I could see the appeal. This is all about a woman named Aurora who gets a divorce and she decides to move back to this small town in Colorado where her and her mom used to live a long time ago before her mom passed away. She moves into like this kind of garage apartment of this guy named Rhodes, and he's a single dad. He's very gruff. It's very When Grumpy Meets Sunshine. She also goes hiking a lot because that's what her mom did. And it's a very small town Grumpy Meets Sunshine romance, which I did enjoy and would recommend. It's just not one of my favorite books by her, but I'm still going to read more of her books because at the end of the day, I enjoy her writing and I enjoy her slow burn romances. Like, they are like none other. I have one that caught my eye when I was doing my anticipated releases for fall, and that is The Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maher. I love this because it has gold sprayed edges. And this apparently was like a very big TikTok kind of series where she was acting, I think, as like the assistant to a villain, and it got so popular. I think publishers may have reached out to her and said, hey, do you want to write a book about it? And she did. So this is that. Whether or not it's great or not, I haven't seen the best reviews. A lot of people say it reads YA, but it sounds fun to me. It's basically about a girl named Evie who wants to be an assistant for a villain. And it says, assistant what? A notorious high-ranking villain seeks loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecified office duties supporting staff for random mayhem and terror and other dark things in general. Discretion is a must. Excellent benefits. It sounds fun. I think it's maybe like kind of medieval times. We'll have to see. I could be 100% wrong. It just kind of looks medieval, I guess, by the cover, but it sounds like a fun time, and that's what I'm expecting from it. So if you've read this, let me know. Are the reviews matching up with what you've heard about it? I would love to know. It sounds fun, and I'm sad to say I'm never on TikTok except for to post things because I feel like that's a hole I don't want to go down to. So I don't know anything about this like kind of a villain assistant series. And then I have a romance, Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, which this one drew me the cover, and then also it's about a wedding planner and her grumpy ex must work together to plan a celebrity event in this deliciously spicy and funny novel from fanfic sensation Julie Soto. Apparently she writes Draco Hermione fanfiction, which I read on occasion. For some reason, like I love Ron and Hermione. They're like my OTP. I love them. But the best fan fiction, weirdly enough, is Draco and Hermione. I don't know why. It's just the best. If you read Harry Potter fanfic, I'm sure you would agree. That's where the good fanfics are. I don't ship them at all in the books, but fan fiction, I'm all about it. So I mainly bought it because of that. Because I was like, I gotta read a fanfic person because I love fanfic. Harry Potter's like the only fanfic I read, but I'm gonna check it out. Then I have one I bought because of the author, and that is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. If you don't know, she wrote Fourth Wing, which blew up insanely this year. Did I fall on the hype train on that one? Yes, I did. But this is not a newest release, I think. It's one of her older releases. It's basically about a guy named Beckett who has a best friend in the army, and I think that best friend does not make it out alive, and so he writes him a letter saying, you know, to take care of his sister, his little sister who's raising her twins alone, and she's also alone. And so I think it's like kind of a second chance romance with him trying to get in their lives and things like that. I don't know why I bought it, because do I think I'm going to read this? I don't know. It sounds sad. I tend to stray away from sad books because I'm not... I got enough sad things in my life. No, I don't want to say that. But you know what? We all have sad things in our life. I like to read a lot of happy and positive things to escape the... Okay. I like to read a lot of happy, positive things because we all have a lot of stresses in our life, and I don't think we need anything else to bring us sadness. But I also see the value in reading sad things because it is also very realistic. So it's kind of a conundrum. But I will read this one day. Not soon, though. Then I bought this cover. is amazing. It is a Western, which I don't read a ton of Western. It's done and dusted by Lila Sage, and it's like a comic book like Western, like this cover and even the spine, even the back. I just, I don't know anything about it. It's about a girl named Clementine who is she basically is trying to escape her hometown of Meadowlark, and this guy named Luke who's a notorious bad boy, bar owner and bachelor. Yeah, it's the best friend's sister. I don't know. I've heard mixed things about this one. I also have this on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll probably read it when I have, just, it's one of those books like, it's on my TBR. It's not high up there, but it's on there. Does that make any sense? The cover drew me in. I know, it's probably not the best thing, but whatever. The next two I am definitively reading this fall, and that is the Encyclopedia Fairies by Heather Fawcett. It's Emily Wild's Encyclopedia Fairies, which this is just a hardback. There's no dust jacket, which I love because I always take dust jackets off. I wish there was something cool inside, but there's not. This is a girl named Emily Wild who is a Cambridge professor, and she is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore. And so she goes to this village far north, and basically like her arch nemesis comes with her, and it's the whole book is kind of told from her like studies and writings, and it's kind of like a diary. I've heard amazing things about this. It doesn't scream overtly fall or anything, but just, I don't know, fairies, kind of like mystical lore that makes it fall. I don't know. I try to justify anything being a seasonal read, duh. But either way, I'm going to read this fall, and I hope to fall in love with it because it is beautiful. Then we have another one I bought because I've heard a lot about, and that is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. A lot of people say this is kind of a cozy fantasy, which I am into. I think I'll really enjoy that. And it says, it's difficult to find a husband in a Regency England when you're a young lady with only half a soul. And that's kind of all I know about it. And it's a girl that was cursed by a fairy. Ooh, maybe I'll read these together for fairy times. And she has no sense of fear of embarrassment, and I think she's trying to find a husband. It kind of gives me that Ella Enchanted feeling. That's like my favorite middle grade novel of all time. Maybe this will be more uplifting than Ella Enchanted, which I still will never get over the fact of when they adapted it, they made it seem fun and happy. And I'm like, Ella Enchanted is kind of a deep book for middle grade in my opinion. It was kind of sad. I loved it, but like, that's why I refuse to watch the adaptation. I don't know, but either way, this seems really fun, really cozy, and I'm hoping to read it this fall. And the last book I bought is one I also have already read, which is the bottom of my pile, is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I'm sure you've heard TikTok blow this up. I like to investigate such TikTok books. Sometimes they're worth it, in my opinion. Sometimes I like them. A lot of times I don't. This is one where I don't get the hype on it. The cover, chef's kiss, A+. I will love this cover forever, but it's just very different than what I think it's claiming to be. So this book is basically, I would say it's like kind of a World War II novel with a dash. And when I say a dash, I mean like a sprinkling of like fantastical elements into it. I think the fantastical elements are being hyped up more and maybe getting more people to be drawn to it, but it's really, like I said, a sprinkle, not even like throwing a whole tablespoon in there, if you get what I'm saying. So this is about two characters, Iris and Roman. And they both work at this Gazette. They're both trying to vie for this like editor job or actual writer job. And while this is all happening, a new war is happening because gods that have been sleeping are awakening, and there's two gods that are fighting, and you're either on one side or the other. And Iris's brother goes off to war, and she misses him, so she always types him a letter on her typewriter, you know, just typing away, and she puts it in her bureau, like the Narnian type of bureau, and it disappears. It's like magic, you know. And then all of a sudden, letters start popping up, and who is it? But it's Roman, only he doesn't tell her right away. So it's got a kind of you've got mail thing. They kind of fall in love with each other via typed letters, but in reality they hate each other, and it was okay. I think it's just I'm not the biggest fan of historical fiction. Most of the time I just don't enjoy them. It's just not my preferred genre, so that's one thing. That's probably why I wasn't big on the bandwagon. Another thing is, like I said, it boasts to be fantastical, but like there's like little amounts, and it will remind you every now and then that it's fantastical, and I'll totally forget. It doesn't really need to be. It's a really kind of World War II sweeping love story, which is good on its own. The writing is beautiful, I will give it that, but it just wasn't for me. Will I continue off the series? I don't know. I might just want to for the covers. Is that shallow? Absolutely. So I have a huge stack of books I've got from publishers. I try to organize these the best I could, but you know, it just happened. So the first one I actually just got in the mail literally yesterday from Celadon Books, and it is Alex, oh, I never know how to pronounce his last name, new book called The Fury. If you don't know, he wrote The Silent Patient, which I did read. I didn't love. This one doesn't come out till January. Holy crap, I have a 2024 book in my hand. That's crazy. But they also sent this little thing, which is just, you think nothing, and it just says that you open it up though.
The wind was fierce that night, the night of the murder. It was ferocious, furious, crashing through trees, tearing.
So it's got like stuff all in it. It's like a little snippet of the audiobook. That's pretty freaking cool. I think that's really awesome. All I know is this is a tale of murder, or maybe that's not quite true. It's about Lana, and my name is Elliot Chase, and I'm going to tell you a story unlike any you've ever heard. So I'm guessing that this is from Elliot's point of view. We'll have to see. This has me intrigued because every time I open it up, like I even told my husband, like, check this out.
The wind was fierce that night.
The night of the murder. Like, it sounds like Clue or something, which, yes. Then I have one from Bloom, Flawless by Elsie Silver, which I have read. This is the brand new cover for it. Another cowboy western one. It's about a boy, it's about a guy that's a bull rider, and he goes a little bit crazy with PR, and his PR company decides to like give him a babysitter, and of course, you know, feelings happen. It was cute, it was fun, it was steamy. If you just want a good cowboy western time, I checked this series out. I think it's called the Chestnut Spring series. It's also, I think, on Kindle Unlimited, but the new covers are cute. I do like the old covers though. Then I have a whole bunch. Like when I say a whole bunch, I mean a whole bunch from Berkeley. So I'm going to try to fly through them. Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I've heard about this one before. It might be a little bit too steamy for me. It's about a girl named Jordan and her boyfriend, and then I think she starts getting together with her boyfriend's dad, which is, I don't know, it's a little too much for me, but I've heard really good things about this, so we'll have, I don't know. If I should read it, let me know. If I should not, let me know. Another one that I've seen a lot before, and that is Paper Princess by Erin Watt. I believe this is a series, and it says, from strip clubs and truck stops to southern coastal mansions and prep schools, one girl tries to stay true to herself. And it's about a girl named Ella, who's a survivor, and she moves town to town, and then her mom dies, and then this guy named Callum Royal appears, and he takes her to his mansion among his 5 sons, and I think maybe, I don't know if she goes through all the brothers. I don't know anything about it. I've heard a lot about it, but I don't know anything about it. So is this the worst book review channel you've ever been to? Probably. So then we have a witchy one, Witch of Wild Things. Legend has it long ago a florist woman offended the old gods, and now the family's daughters are cursed with a touch of magic. This sounds really fun. I did not have this on my like kind of fall TBR, but I might, because it's very short and sweet and it looks super cute. The cover is amazing, and I just love any sort of like touch of magic books. I love them. I'm still not done with Berkeley. Your girl's got a lot. I have The Love Plot by Samantha Young. I've read a couple books by her. This is there's a magnetic attraction when a happy-go-lucky gig worker agrees to fake relationship with a rich, uptight New Yorker. That's all I know about it. It looks cute. I don't love the writing of this author, so we'll have to see if I read it or not. And then I have one that, this cover, amazing. It's With Love from Cold World by Alicia Thompson. Love in the Time of Serial Killers, which I never read because the plot hit a little bit too close to home. But this one is basically about like this tourist destination called Cold World that's like always a winter wonderland in Orlando, Florida, which is just ironic and funny and amazing. And I think two people that work together kind of get together. But either way, this cover, like, amazing. Love it. And then we have a Beth O'Leary novel, The Wake Up Call. I did not read her last book because I heard it was sad. And as we all know, sometimes I don't do the best with sad books. This is two hotel receptionists and arch rivals find collections of old wedding rings and compete to return them to their owners, discovering their own love story along the way. That sounds really intriguing and fun. I might have to check this out. I don't know when this comes out, but I might have to read it. Like, you know, these videos are great for me to like determine if I want to read a book or not. You know how it goes. This is my last one from Berkeley, I believe. This is My Roommate the Vampire by Jen Oveen, which I have already read and love. This is about a girl named Cassie who kind of gets kicked out of her apartment. She has nowhere to go, and then she finds a Craigslist ad. That's right, Craigslist. for this amazing apartment in downtown Chicago where the rent is not asking much. And she's like, this is too good to be true. And it probably is. And she meets her roommate, and her roommate's Frederick Fitzwilliam. And he's a little different. You know, he doesn't ever come out at the daytime. He doesn't have like any cookware. He walks and talks and dresses like he's from a Regency novel. You know, he's a vampire and he needs some help because he's been like in a vampire coma for the past like century, and he has no clue how to navigate today's world. And so they kind of team up together. Steamy times happen. It is fun. It is best not to be taken seriously. It's a cute vampire novel. If you don't know, I love vampires. Anything with vampire is a buzzword for me. So I enjoyed this one. Would recommend it for the spooky season. It's not scary in the slightest, but it's a fun one. Then I have The Fiction Writer by Gillian Cantor. This is a thriller, I believe, and I don't know anything about it. This is the once rising literary star Olivia. It was down in her luck. Her most recent novel, retelling of Rebecca, was a flop, and now she's battling a case of writer's block. And then I think it's a page turner that explores the slippery boundaries of creative freedom and whose story will have the right to tell. So I think it's about an author trying to write a thriller novel, and I think things happen from there. I love the cover. I don't know much about it. I haven't read a book by her, so I don't know. Then I have two that I am really excited for. First up from Source Books is Midnight is the Darkest Hours by Ashley Winstead. I love her thrillers. She writes some dark junk, and this one sounds the same. This one is kind of about this it's about this girl named Ruth who goes to her small town, back to her small town, Bottom Springs, Louisiana. And there it's like the townspeople fear God and the devil, but more than that, they fear like this kind of vampire presence looming over them. And I think things happen. I don't know. The plot sounds so much like Midnight Mass to me, that show, which I did not watch, but I watched like the kind of whole video about it because I watch Found Flicks, and that's how I can digest scary things. Don't ask me. But either way, it says it's an examination of the ways we come to expect love, religion, and stories to save us, the lengths we have to go in order to take back power, and the monstrous work of being a girl in this world. Sounds dark. It sounds gritty. I'm excited to read it. And then, oh, this is also from Berkeley. Whoops. This is Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison, who is a horror author, but not really. I always say that. I don't know. This is her newest one that's kind of like a cult book. It's about this girl in the family that's known as the Black Sheep, where she's different from everybody else. She doesn't quite fit in. And basically she gets exonerated from her family. They never talk to her again. It's kind of like a cult thing. But then one of her cousins gets married and she gets invited to the wedding. And she's like, oh, maybe this is my way back in, you know? I can actually talk to my family again. And so she goes and things get tricky. It's like kind of a cult, I think. I don't know, sounds creepy, but we'll have to see. This cover's creepy, but she writes a lot of like kind of humorful horror. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. And the last stack I have here are my Christmas books that have been sent, and I am so excited. First up is Tessa Bailey's one, Wreck the Halls from Avon. I am so excited for this one. This one is a rom-com about the adult children of two former rock stars who team up to convince their estranged mothers to play a Christmas Eve concert. With Tessa Bailey books, I don't need to know the plot that much. She just writes really fun, steamy books, and I'm about them, so it's Christmassy, why not? Then we have Faking Christmas by Carrie Winfrey, an author I really enjoy. She writes a lot of clean, cute romances that just are so sappy, but I love them. Like, look at this cover, literal cover of a Hallmark movie. Like, I could literally see this as one. So this is a Laurel Grant is playing house for the holidays, complete with a fake husband and kids, and a delightful, charming rom-com. And so I think it's about like a fake dating relationship in Christmas, and I will definitely read this. Then I have a whole bunch, I believe, from Berkeley. The Xmas Holidays by Zoe Allison. It says, it's hard to escape your ex when you're working together over Christmas in the Scottish Highlands, but being stuck together might be the best possible present in the sparkling new contemporary romance. Ooh, Scottish Highlands. And Christmas, like, a lot of, like, seasonal books, I don't even know the plots of. Is it set in the fall? Is it set in the winter? Is it set in a quaint town? Is it set near a holiday? If it ticks those boxes, that's all I need to know. Then I have Unleashed Holiday by Victoria Shade. This is when an old rival reappears right before the holidays. A professional dog trainer must decide if the melting frost between them can make up for their rough past. And they spelled it R-E-F-F. So punny. It's just gonna be an amazing work of fiction. Probably not. Will it fill my Christmas love of reading. Yes. And the last book I have is The Book Club Hotel by Sarah Morgan, who is a romance staple. This cover is beautiful. It's like a watercolor, and it is just, it's pretty. This is at the Maple Sugar Inn. I mean, like, then I'm done. I don't need to read anything else. In Snowy, Vermont, this host, owner, Hattie, specializes in making her guests' dreams come true, but this Christmas her only dream is making it through the festive season. She widowed far too young and exhausted from juggling the hotel and being a dedicated single mom. And then she has a recent heart-stopping kiss with close friend Noah. And then basically these girls check in on her on their annual book club holiday. This sounds super cute. Like, it just looks amazing. I'm really excited about it. But there you go. That is my insane amount of books that I have to somehow fit back on this cart or something. I don't know. I really don't know how I'm going to do it. But either way, if you've heard of any of these books, please let me know if you're excited for them, if I should read them or not. Please help me out. As always, thank you so much for watching. All links to these books will be down below for you to check out. I think that's all I have to say. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.